I'm scared of podcasts.
Scared of podcasts? Like you're scared of ghosts?
Yep.
Intro.
Whoa!
Hi, welcome to Code On Air. Today we're going to be talking about fear, horror, ghost stories, and some of our personal fears. Today I'm joined by Incarone, Mrs CodeBeans, Tangerin, Spooky Bro, and I'm Arma. I think we're going to start with some ghost stories because I believe a few people here have them.
Connor, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Would you like to?
I've got quite a few, so I can just start us off and then you can take over if you want to.
Sick.
Okay. So, my first story. It starts when I was like 7 or 8 years old. So, in the town that we live in, we've got this little like haunted walk thingy where like you go on like a tour downtown late at night and like the tour guide just like takes you all over downtown and like shows you all of like the haunted areas. So, my family, we bought 4 tickets. I had to go on it, and I really didn't want to because I was like 7 or 8 at the time, and I was like really scared of ghosts and stuff. And I wanted to stay home because I knew my grandpa wasn't going, and I knew I could stay home with him. So I was like, Mom, I don't want to go. Please don't make me go." And she's like, "Nope, we bought the ticket. You're going." So yeah, it was maybe it was at least an hour long, like the tour. I was so scared the entire time, and like all the people in the group, they were like, "Oh my god, look, there's the ghost!" Whenever like the tour guide would take us to a certain spot, and the tour guide would like whip around and be like, "What? Where? Oh my god, where?" It's like he was obviously terrified, and like I was so scared like the entire time, and it didn't help that like they took us to my mom's work because um I don't know when it was exactly, but it was a long, long time ago. Part of her work burned down, and this was like at least like 100 years ago, so like a long time ago. Part of her work burned down, like one of the buildings burned down, and it's haunted. So they took us there to my mom's work, and it was haunted, and they're just telling us the story. So like whenever my mom would like talk about her work for the next little while, I was just like, "Are you talking about the haunted building, or are you talking about the ghost?" So, yeah, it was really traumatizing. I was so terrified. It was genuinely a horrible evening. I hated it. It was truly awful. So, yeah, that's my first little intro ghost story. Yeah.
Nice. So, should I?
Yeah, you can go, Connor.
Alright, so this one's a bit more wholesome, not so much terrifying. Um, so, little background. Um, my cat Sylvester passed away when I was 4. He was a great cat. I loved him a lot. And like a few years later, I was maybe 12 at the time. Um, I was asleep and I woke up to feeling like the weight of a cat beside me. Now it could have been either Perry or Tipser. I woke up and I reached over to pet the cat, and it was fluffy, it was soft. Didn't meow, so I assumed it was Tipser. Um, but when I opened my eyes and looked over, there was nothing there. There was no cat.
Oh,
But like,
Ghost cat! One of the many
yeah,
different Connors. Ghost Connor?
the
Yay!
first, the
The
first one.
first new Connor.
Yep. So that kind of startled me a little, but honestly, it was kind of calming because, it was like, oh, it's nice to know he's still around. You know, it was nice. Anyway, that's the end of that. It was over pretty quick.
Nice wholesome ghost story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's a rare one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really have any specific ghost stories to my knowledge, but I have things that could have been ghost stories. So, all of my life that I can remember, I grew up on a farm. Turns out this farm was built over an abandoned gravel mine. There are like parts everywhere for it. And during one of the summers, me and a friend would go up to the barnyard at night and just sit around, talk because we're stupid and decide, hey, let's go up into the middle of the woods to talk instead of just sitting in a bedroom. But you know, standard night as you do. And I'm not a paranoid person, but they were. And every now and then you'd hear sounds from the woods. We're sitting on like a concrete construction platform for a structure that was being built. And every now and then we were probably like 30 feet ish from the woods, 10 meters roughly. Up, and we just hear rustling and like chattering and stuff from over there. And he was freaking out, which is pretty funny when you're like 5'9" and the person next to you is 6'6", freaking the fuck out. It's amazing. And he was like, "Let's go back." And I'm like, "Nah, this is fun. I like this." But let's just say the entire time felt like I was being watched, which was nice. When you're in the forest, you just feel like you're being watched all the time. I've gotten used to it, kind of. But there's a presence that you can always just feel.
I used to live in front of a creek, and there was like a little bit of like woodsy area back there. Whenever I would go back there like by myself or even with other people, I always felt like I was being watched. Like whether it was by like a person or like some sort of animal or just like a presence, there was always like something there like watching.
That's just the thing with woods.
Yeah.
It's just, there's always a feeling.
Yeah, that's just always how it is, yeah.
Honestly, being alone anywhere in like slightly darkened areas, you can feel like you're being watched.
Yeah.
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 Speaking of my old house, I have quite a few ghost stories from there.
Ooh.
So, I'm gonna talk about the at least three spirits that lived there. There was only three to my knowledge. One was a little boy, like a child boy. One, um, one was like an older kind of woman. Like she wasn't like old by any means. Like she was definitely like middle aged though. Like she wasn't like a young adult or anything. And then the other was just like this like tall entity. Um, so when I lived in that house, I changed rooms twice. So I had my room, and then later on I moved into my brother's room, and he got my old room because his was bigger, and I was at that house more often than he was. Um, so in the first room, that was where like the tall entity was, and it would just stand in front of my closet, like it wouldn't move, like it would just stand there.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's uncomforting.
Oh yeah, big
I
time.
don't like that.
I did not either, but you know, kind of got used to it. It would just like stand there. It was kind of like a shadowy figure or anything, like no face, just kind of like an outline, I guess. Kind of like, yeah, just a shadow. It never like did anything. It would just stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these spirits, they lived upstairs. The little boy, he never did anything like bad or malicious. He was just kind of like he was just like a little terror, you know? Like he just liked to cause a little bit of chaos. And there's one time I remember vividly. I was in the shower and I saw the curtain moving a little bit and I saw like a hand reach in and it was like a little boy's hand. And I was like, "Okay, no. No, thank you. I was in this room first. You can come back later, but not right now. I'm in the shower. Please leave." And he left. He listened. He left.
Politely fuck off.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. He really liked being in the bathroom. There was another time I was brushing my teeth and I looked in the mirror and I saw his face just like from the hallway. And then like I blinked and he was just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't bad or anything. He just liked to cause a little bit of mayhem. And then the last one, the woman, she was in the second room, my brother's old room, the one that I moved into. She liked to move around a lot. She was either at the end of my bed or next to one of my windows because I had two windows in that room. She would just like stand at the end of my bed and watch me. She would like look out the window, like kind of like sadly, kind of. And I had one of my friends come over, and I was like, "Okay, wait, I need you to like come up to my room and like see if you can like feel her, see if you can see her. It's like I know that it's not just me." So came up to my room, she walked in the door, she was like, "No, I don't feel anything." And then she walked over to my bed and she stopped, like a dead stop, and she was like, "Okay, I feel it. Like I feel her. I don't see her, but like I feel her, like right now."
Mhm.
So yeah, Yeah, none of them ever tried to do anything, like, malicious or anything. I don't know, like, what kind of vibes, like, the lady gave off, like, I don't know if she was good or bad, like, she never did anything, but, like, I never was, like, certain on, like, what kinda energy she had.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
I don't like
a
that.
lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's uncomforting. Uh, I feel like where I live, if more people were to be around during things, you all would notice things way before I would, because I am
Yeah.
bad at noticing anything. But I have more stories actually, surprisingly. Again, none of them are confirmed ghost stories, but one night I was tired but wanted to get fresh air. And I went outside. Just outside because I'm on the bottom floor of my house with a little glass sliding door. So I could just open it, step outside quickly just to get a breath of fresh air. And I hear rustling in the leaves, and I jump up and almost bonk my head on the uh, balcony above me. Uh, Turns out it was my cat. But still, the entire time I felt like I was being watched, not from where my cat was, but from other places. Now, I think I'll pass the torch off to Aaron, who's been awfully quiet.
Uh-oh. Okay, listen, I didn't think I had any ghost stories until Honor started talking about Ghost Cat, and then I was like, yo, holy shit, I have Ghost Cat too. So,
Yes, I would like one ghost cat, please.
oh, all right, order up.
This is McDonald's.
I never, so like growing up, I never really believed in ghosts, and I was always like, I've never really had any ghost experiences, so it's like, I don't really have a reason to believe it. However, we moved into my new house, and then we had a cat when we moved in. His name was Whiskers, and he was the best. And then, um, after about a few months, he ran away, and then,
Oh,
uh, yeah, about like a year or two later, our oldest cat, Maggie, she was 26, I think. She passed away. Um, and so we ended up getting two new cats, and then I will say I am wholeheartedly a believer that cats can 100% see ghosts. I believe
yeah, me
that
too.
Yeah.
with all my heart. And so when I got these new kittens, they were like really good and normal, but like they would just keep staring at stuff when nothing was there, and there was a few times where they'd be like running on the floor and then they would just stop and like stare at something like there was something right in front of them, and then they'd like go back and just keep playing, and I was like, I think I think I have a ghost cat. And then it was calm for a few years. We ended up getting a few more cats, but like they do it ever so often. And like sometimes I would hear that we have an attic, but it's just like a little storage attic, so we don't ever go up there. And sometimes I just hear little footsteps up there, but it's not like human footsteps, it's like animal footsteps. And we've been up there several times and there's nothing living in there. We don't have rats. So ghost cat. And then but yeah, things weren't really that suspicious at all. But then a few weeks ago, my my cat passed away, unfortunately. My good boy. And I don't know, ever since then, my oldest cat, Smokey, who was like really close to him, just keeps like acting like he's still around. Like he'll jump up on my bed and then stare at the spot on my pillow where he usually sleeps and just like stare at it for a minute like there's something there, and then he'll just curl up at the end of my bed instead of getting up there, and he'll like just stare on the floor and like at the toys like there's like something there, but there's no bugs or anything like that. So I wholeheartedly believe that I have ghost cats.
Oh,
Oh,
So
that's so
okay.
sad.
yeah.
One, once again, I have another one. It's not quite a ghost story. Again, quick thing, I do kind of believe in ghosts, or I want to. I haven't had any proof yet. but I have a friend who does. Same 6'6" friend. Very jumpy, which is always funny. But we'd like other times when we were like sitting out during like the summer, because what else are you gonna do when you live in the middle of nowhere? And we just like sit there talking about like stupid things in like video games and anime. But like most of the time we'd be either sitting up in the barnyard on like that big concrete platform I was talking about, or down in my driveway. I have a very large driveway. It can hold like at least 12 cars if you like cram them in. It's big. But we'd like sit on this little like concrete wall in the driveway. And every now and then we'd hear like the sounds and I'd be like, oh, it's a squirrel. But then I like yawned, and sometimes when I yawn I make a like ghost zombie like sound groan, and it freaked him the fuck out. Excuse my French. And then I realized that, oh, that's a real good way to mess with them. So I continued throughout the night. So that was fun.
Some people like to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
Now this one's a bit more unsettling, honestly. So my great grandma died a few years ago, and she lived with my great uncle. The night that she passed away, he woke up and saw her sitting on the end of his bed.
Oh, don't like
I'll
that.
leave that. I'll just leave that there for you. When
Don't
I
like
heard that from my dad, I almost crapped myself.
I have other like odd experience stories that I can't be sure if they're ghost stories, but based on where I live, they very much could or couldn't be. I've had the whole like seeing shadowy figures in the woods like from far away, but I could easily write that off as being like a deer or something, or other like things like that. But the ones that like make me question it the most is words, hearing words and like sentences. But it's always distorted enough that like it's hard to make out. It's hard for me to truly believe in supernatural, but I want to.
I don't know why, but I just remembered a story from when I was little.
Ooh, go for it.
Okay. So when I was younger, we used to do trips to the US for some shopping.
Ew.
And
Imagine US.
says you anyway. So we went there with my nana. And me and my sister stayed in a hotel room with her. We went to bed, and I could not fall asleep. I look over, and I see a shadow, like a silhouette of a man in a fedora and a trench coat.
David.
And he, yeah, David. And he just stood
Milady.
there. So he just stood there, watching me, and inevitably he went away. But a few years later, I saw this post on Instagram. So I would follow like spooky Instagram accounts, like spooky facts and stuff. And I saw a post from one of those talking about a silhouette of a man in a fedora and a trench coat who checks up on kids while they sleep to make sure they're okay.
What the?
And that just, Jesus.
That's kind of wholesome.
It's
It
kind of
is.
wholesome, but like also unsettling at the same time.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
I told
Yeah.
my dad about it a few years later, when I like a little after I saw the post, and he was like, "That's actually kind of spine chilling," because like our family has like huge history with the supernatural, so like stuff like that is always like not surprising, but still creepy.
Yeah.
It's a back alley Santa Claus.
Oh god.
Sandman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have another one. Okay.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like that like black figure that I would see in my room. And I just want to like clarify. that black figure, it was like gigantic. Like it took up the entire wall. That's how tall it was. Like it wasn't just like a normal like human size, like slightly tall thing. It was
David
tall.
size.
No, it genuinely was like massive. It was huge. So it was sometime in the summer. I was walking my dog, and there was this like little path that I would take. Like I would like go up the street and then like down like the side streets. So I was going down the side street, and across the road, like underneath a street light, they weren't turned on yet, because it was still early enough, and it was just standing underneath the street light. There was another figure, another tall black figure. It was just standing there. My dog saw it too. Like I was still walking. She just kind of like stopped and was staring. So I was like, okay, let's keep going. Let's not stop. Let's just keep going. Come on, let's go. And it was just there. Like it was just standing there. It wasn't doing anything. It was just standing. And it was still super tall. Like it was over like half as tall as like the streetlight was. Like it was so tall.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it was kind of really scary because that was the first time I'd seen anything like outside of my house or like out in public. Because when I went on that like haunted walk thing, there were no like actual ghosts that we saw. So this was the first time I'd seen anything like outside in the world in public. And it
To remind me if I ever want to run into supernatural things, to just walk with you for a little bit at night.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, basically. Like I see so much stuff. There was something like a couple weeks ago, I thought, because like there was one night I was having issues falling asleep. So I was lying on my side and then I just like opened my eyes and I thought I saw something like standing next to my dresser and I was like, no, that's probably nothing. And then it was just still there. And then it was gone the next night.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if you ever want to experience the paranormal, just come hang out in my house with me for a while because there's always seems to be something going on in
Ghost
any
egg.
house that I live in. But yeah.
TCR podcast in person in a haunted building.
Yeah, just come to my house.
Plot twist: Julian's a ghost.
Well, Ryan,
Oh
come on, you're
dear.
supposed to share that with everyone.
So just a reminder for all of us: if we move in with Jill, we're gonna have to deal with ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jill brings extra roommates.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Oh wait, okay.
Well, they
so
pay rent.
no, they won't pay rent, unfortunately. I
What
just
the-
thought of another thing though. So this happened in the middle of the night as I was trying to fall asleep. I was lying down in my bed. I was facing towards my window, so like I was lying on my side. And like out of nowhere, I have no idea what it was. Nothing in my room like shifted or fell, like nothing happened. I just hear this like absolutely like so loud, just sigh. And like it was a human sigh, and it was just like it's like I didn't make it. There was nothing else in my room that could have made it. My dog wasn't staying with me that night. I have no idea what it was. There's not enough room for anything to hide under my bed. Same with my closet. I have no idea what it was.
Oh shit! I remembered things.
Oh.
Okay. So my room has access to a very easy opening door. Glass, like full glass sliding door, which is like terrifying to sleep next to because it can't walk. And normally I sleep with headphones on. Because when you live in the middle of the country, you know that noises at night don't mean good things, so you ignore them. That's why like every person in a horror movie is from the city. Uh, but like one night I heard a big ass like thump against my door. No clue what it was. There was no like shadow or anything peering into my door or anything. It definitely wasn't a cat because no cat could do that. So I just went to sleep. I just went back to sleep. Just no, not today. I'd be the worst paranormal investigator.
No, I mean that's pretty much just like
Shane
read all like
day.
ghost interactions, just kinda like, oh, okay.
All right,
Alright. That happened, yeah.
thank you for
Okay,
that.
fine.
Bugger off.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, yeah.
I think if that's. Does anyone have any other ghost stories to catch up on, or should we move into our next section?
Other than my Nana's creepy basement? Not really.
Creepy
Do we
basement.
want to go over the creepy basement?
Creepy basement. Alright, here we go. So, my Nana's house is pretty darn old. And the basement, although it's very nice, it's very clearly haunted. My grandpa, he passed away of cancer before I was born, and every time I go down there, like he spent a lot of time down there. He even like built it all himself. So every time I go down there to get like a Coke from the bar, like, and there's a mirror behind the bar, I'm always like looking in the mirror to make sure no apparitions appear because I'm not messing with that. Not today. Not now. Not ever.
Yeah.
Don't want to see no ghosts.
Yeah.
I just kind of run up the stairs. Like
You
I'm
know,
getting chills every time.
and then the day happens in which you hear something running up behind you.
No, shut up. Stop. I don't like that.
Just wait. Well, if that's the last ghost story, we can move on
Yep.
to some of our personal fears.
Yeah.
I can start if you want with one of my basic fears.
Alright.
I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling from heights. I'm fine knowing that I'm 100 feet up in the air in a building, as long as there's no feasible way of me falling. But 20 feet up in the air on a very thin platform that wobbles, that's terrifying. I'm worried about going splat.
I mean, I know that there's that one build. I mean, you know those big skyscrapers where they have glass floors? I know I'm
Hate
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I'm
Oh
not gonna
my goodness.
fall through and all that, but that just seems really scary because you can see it. The you can see the drop. There's absolutely no way for you to fall down, but
Oh my God.
still.
Oh my god.
There, I know of the most asshole design in the world. It is a bridge in which the entire walkway is basically TVs.
Oh, the one where it cracks?
The one where it cracks as you step on
Yeah.
it.
My God.
Yeah.
There's a video of this man just freaking the fuck out because it looks like just a big glass bridge, but then when you step on it, like, and he's like fucking, he falls and is like, "Gee, oh my God, I hate that. I hate it so much."
Has anyone here been to Canada's Wonderland?
Yeah,
Nope.
Okay,
and
so at Canada's Wonderland, there's this ride that's like somewhat new. It was made in the past like 10 years or something, but it's basically like a 50-foot tall swing. So there's like these seats that hang down and then it's like 50 feet in the air and you just swing around in a circle.
Oh, I
And
love that.
yeah, everyone who's been on it has said it's like the most calming thing ever, and my family goes on it like every time, and they're like, it's the best part. And I refuse to go on it, and they're always like, oh, come, well, you'll go on like Leviathan and the other huge roller coasters, so like, why is it different? And I'm like, it's different because with roller coasters, they're fast and you're like strapped in and you're only at the highest point for like 5 seconds. I don't want to be sitting in a swing looking down for like 5 minutes, 50 feet, because the entire time, I'll just fear that the seat will fall off and I will die.
I saw
Yeah.
a video on TikTok of that ride. It broke and it had stopped at like the top of the tower.
No. Oh.
no,
Yeah,
God.
it was
No.
awful. Like I was just like watching in shock and like all the people like they were okay. They were just kind of like freaking out and they got it like fixed again, I'm pretty sure. But like I never want that to happen to me.
No.
The only like big ride at Canada's Wonderland that I can like deal with without my brain going, what if it breaks? What if it breaks? What if it breaks? Is the Nightmare. A description for those who haven't been there. It's a big wheel with like separate like cages that you then also strap yourself into,
Oh,
and then
it's
it
like a
starts
fan?
spinning. It starts spinning and it's horizontal and slowly just goes vertical.
That's the one where it's like shaped like a fan, right?
Kinda, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
a big
Like a
disc
big, like
that goes from
wheel
flat.
kinda, right?
I love that
Like
one.
it's just kinda like a big wheel, right?
It's a big wheel that goes
Yeah.
from being horizontal to vertical
Yeah.
and goes back
Yeah.
down.
Wait,
That
do
one
you
I'm good with. That
you
one I'm
guys know that ride that's near like one of the entrances or something? And like it's those people in like the big chairs that kind of like spin around and then they like dip down like right into the fountain.
Oh, Riptide, I think is what it's called.
That might be it, but yeah, I've always hated that one because like the whole machine like spins so many times.
Yeah, I went on that one and it was very scary.
Yeah.
It's my mom's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that I'm scared of. I'm also scared of heights. Not even just like falling. I'm just scared of heights. So I was at the CN Tower once with my dad, my brother, and my grandpa. And you know how they have like little section of it where it's like glass floor?
Mm-hmm.
My dad forced me to lie down on that when there were other kids on it jumping on it so he'd get a picture.
Oh,
Oh
no.
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 I was so
I
scared.
don't
I was
like
like,
that.
no, it's gonna fall because there were other kids jumping on it, and he was like, no, it's not. You're gonna be fine. So he made me lie down on it and take a picture. It was
You know
awful.
that like subreddit Sweaty Palms?
No.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It's a subreddit in which we can go over that at some point. It's a subreddit in which like people do a whole bunch of like activity that just set people's nerves ablaze.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
like.
like jumping on glass floors, doing parkour off of skyscrapers and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, that never works for me just because I don't care about the person in the video.
Yeah, there's also like
There's too much of disconnect.
swimming with like sharks and stuff. But the one is like those roads in like like Europe and stuff that are on the sides of mountains and have no guardrails and are stupid thin. I don't
Yeah.
trust
Oh,
those.
yeah.
no. Mm-mm.
No.
No, and especially when there's
No.
like one car going one way and the other going the other way. What do you do?
Yeah, it's especially with like buses going over that. No, one wrong move and like that's like 50 people dead.
Yeah. Branching off of what Cody briefly said about swimming with sharks, I can if people are done with the height talk, I can branch off into my biggest fear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a
Mhm.
little thing to add.
Okay.
Okay.
Subtract.
Subtract. On so to my bus route takes me over like this. I don't know what I'd call it. Is it like an overpass? Like I don't know
Yeah.
what it's called. It's kind of like a bridge
Mhm.
over some train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I'm on the bus, our bus driver, she's kind of insane when driving. Yeah, it's an overpass. She's insane while driving, and
Oh no.
sometimes comes ridiculously close to the edge. So every time, every day, when I'm coming home, I just prepare myself like this is it. This is the last day I'll be alive. We're gonna fall. I'm gonna die. Oh God. And then I kind of like look at my sister like, oh God, would I have to catch her if we fall? Would I try? Like, goodbye, I guess. My
Try.
last day. This is our last day on Earth. We're all gonna die. It's terrifying.
Yep.
Huh?
Oh.
All right, Aaron.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think a very common fear, I think a lot of people are scared of like open ocean and deep water and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, the fear I have kind of branches off of that. So I'm not necessarily like I 100% could swim in the ocean or in the open ocean, but I have what is called submechanophobia, which by definition is described as the fear of large man-made objects underwater. But for me, it's more just like any object, like any large object underwater, like I could swim in the open ocean just fine, but if I was swimming and saw like 50 feet below me a shipwreck or something, or even just like a large pipe of some kind, I would freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust the open seas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust open water, and I don't trust murky water.
Oh
Oh
my God,
yeah.
murky water, absolutely not.
I don't like
Um,
not being able to see the bottom, and where we live in a spot with snapping turtles.
Hmm.
no,
No, thank you. I'm good.
my I only discovered what submechanophobia was like 2 or 3 years ago, and when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And then when I saw the images attached, I was like, oh yep, I have that. But my biggest moment that I remember that made me realize I had some fear relating to that as a kid was when I was at some like lake with my family and there was a dock, but I was at the dock and then I had jumped into the water and the water is like pretty dark. So I remember jumping off the dock and being underwater and just seeing the chain from that like keeps the dock, and the chain just went down and just like disappeared and I couldn't see the rest of it, and I was like, hell no. And I started freaking out and then I would go back into the water after that.
That's
Yep.
totally fair. If I saw something like that, I also would freak out.
Hmm.
Like
It was so
for me,
scary.
it's like it's fine if there's something down there, but if like you can see it going down and then it disappears, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murky water, I know it's shallow enough to be like, I could probably get out of it easy, but like the open ocean, no. Because you can only see like,
Yeah.
what, 20 or 50 feet? So
Yeah, the
my
ocean is
nightmare scenario,
horrifying.
yeah, my nightmare scenario is swimming in like the ocean, even with like a boat nearby, looking down and either seeing a large silhouette moving beneath me,
Yeah.
or the face of like a orca or shark,
Mhm.
or another creature that I'm gonna mention in a second, just
Uh-huh.
swimming up.
Yeah.
No,
It's just it's so weird for me because I'm not necessarily scared of creatures in the water. Like I 100% want to swim with sharks at some point in my life, but if I was swimming and just saw like a boat underwater that was like shipwrecked, I'd be like, "Nuh-uh, I'm out. I'm never going back here again."
I'm
Yeah.
not scared of the animal itself. I'm scared of being in the water with it when I can't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
For me, I've never really been like terrified of sharks. Like, like I wouldn't necessarily want to like swim with them or anything. And like I know that sharks don't actually like hurt humans as often as like we think they do. But in
Mhm.
film studies class, we had to watch Jaws, and now I'm scared of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like obsessed with sharks as a kid. Like when I was like 6, Jaws was my favorite movie, and I would watch like every single shark documentary. I was like obsessed, but I'm so scared of the ocean. I just like sharks. It's weird.
I seem
Yeah.
to be the only psychopath that's not afraid of the ocean or deep water. I don't know if I ever
Yeah.
like shark. Yeah, the deadly creatures. Well, the creatures that can kill or hurt you. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be near them because, well, I don't want to die or get hurt. But yeah, like swimming in the open ocean or like not being able to see the bottom, that's fine for me. But I guess
Mm-hmm.
the only real problem for me is like if you're walking in a lake and there's algae at the bottom, so then you touch the squishy, yucky, gross stuff.
Ugh,
It's
Oh,
not like it's a fear.
I'm so terrified of seaweed. It's
I
so
hate.
scary.
My mom used to be a diver. Like she used to just like be a recreational diver, and I have no idea how she was able to like go down so far with like seaweed and stuff. She's told me that like she's dived with sharks before, and like I never
Yeah.
understand like how she's able to do that stuff. I
I
never.
can't do seaweed. I hate it.
Mm-mm.
I've
It's not a
always hated it.
scary thing for me. It's just gross and disgusting that I don't want. I would if I had like the diver suit on and it doesn't touch my skin, that's fine.
Like
Yeah.
see, for me, seaweed is kind of like tall grass. Like you can't really see what's hiding in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was briefly talking the yesterday about how at it, like of the combination of submechanophobia and seaweed. Everyone knows my favorite game is Breath of the Wild. I play it like 24/7. There's one area in Breath of the Wild that's called Skull Lake, which is just like a huge, like really deep lake that you can't see the bottom of it. But there are these huge, tall flowers that are like the blooms are huge, and you can just see the top of the flower, and then the like stems of it go down and just like into the black abyss, and you can't see the rest, and it freaks me out so bad. I can never stay in that area.
I hate that.
The game Subnautica messes with all three of us.
Oh, yeah.
I've played it.
I'll stay
It
away.
terrifies me. Yesterday, me, Aaron, and Connor were all discussing this,
Mhm.
and Aaron has now brought to my attention a new fear, or at least a mistrust. I do not trust leopard seals. I'm setting an image that Ryan can edit in. Oh,
But I
by the
have
way,
a
if you're
reason.
searching up images, look them up at your own risk. I don't
Yeah,
trust that
it's
thing.
horrifying.
Oh my
Look at
god.
that bastard. I don't trust that thing in water.
Wait, let me find the one that we
That looks
saw before. Hang
adorable.
on.
It's just the eyes for me. Like, no,
On
there's malice
yeah.
behind those eyes.
Hang on.
On
Wait,
land,
look at this
on
one.
land, I'm fine with them. On land, they look like dumb little sausages, and I love it. But like in water, I'm terrified of them. In murky ocean water, I don't trust.
But they look
No
cool.
trust.
They look cute.
I'm sending. This is the one that I saw yesterday that made me be like,
Oh.
no.
God, no.
That looks like a
No.
cursed image.
I
How
hate
does that? How does that go to that? Like
No. No, thank you.
here?
Their
No.
eyes are so scary.
Yeah. Oh my god,
It's
I
like
hate that.
they are built.
Oh god, I hate that. I hate that so much.
Dude,
Like they
Let
look
me
cute
bring.
on land. They look cute on land. In water, they look horrifying.
Yeah.
yeah.
They are just built to murder me. How big is a leopard seal? I should Google that.
Oh yeah. So I was talking about one of my favorite movies as a kid was Happy Feet. I always loved Happy Feet, but there's a scene in Happy Feet where it's like a 3-minute scene of him being chased by this giant leopard seal, and for some reason they just decided to animate the leopard seal as like the scariest thing in the world, and it was so horrifying. It scared me so much as a kid.
Leopard seals are anywhere from 10 to 12 feet long.
Jesus Christ,
double-
this thing's oh my god. Aaron,
That
oh
is
my
double
god.
the length of Brody.
I know, he's
That
so
is double the
scary.
length of Brody. I don't like that. I don't trust this.
Oh, double the length.
Okay.
Two Brodies, but they can swim.
So there's something. Oh Jesus! Why'd you have to send another freaking photo of that
I'm
thing?
sorry. That thing is just horrifying. That is so
It's
awful.
Oh.
so scary.
God. Anyway, I'm gonna send a few photos, and I want your reaction.
Do you really
this-
have to make my job harder?
Yep,
Yes.
just to spite you.
Ooh, that looks cool though.
Look at
Oh,
these photos.
that looks cool.
Oh
That
no,
looks
I can't. Nope. Nope.
That
Nope.
is
Nope.
the
That doesn't bug me.
world's.
Okay, the
That is
first
the
two are
world's
fine.
deepest pool.
The
in
first two are
Poland.
fine with me. The third one is not.
And it's for divers to practice.
Okay, the third one looks like a hole to the abyss, but I'm fine with it because there's no creature in it.
Yeah, there's nothing that's
No,
gonna
I
kill me
can't.
there.
Yeah, I don't like the last one, but I'm fine with the first two.
Yeah. I love
The
swimming.
the first one's fine. Second one's on thin ice. Third one,
Mm-hmm.
Rip literally everybody that's listening to this on Spotify because they can't see
Hear
any
me
of
out.
this.
Hear me out. Imagine you're practicing to become a diver, you're swimming in this pool, you're almost at the bottom, and you look up and you see nothing because you're so far down. It's
No,
just
no, thank you.
an
No.
abyss.
But that looks
There
that
is
sounds
nothing.
cool though.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I'm fine with this pool. If there were a creature in it that was bigger than Brody, then I'm scared.
If there's something that is able to kill me, then no, because I have a sense of, survival.
Survival.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that.
Also, just I think one of the scariest things about leopard seals is just how fast they can swim.
Those bastards can turn on a dime.
I
It's
still think they're
so
fine.
horrifying.
They do not look like they should be able to move that well, but they can. Another thing I don't trust is orcas.
Yeah.
Orcas are
Yeah,
cool,
orcas,
though.
adorable.
absolutely not.
They're adorable. I love them. I don't trust it.
Orcas
Just
are a predator to moose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. Imagine
Jesus.
something that can take down a moose. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't think enough people realize how big moose are.
Yeah. Like, moose aren't
Like,
really scary. They're just, like, massive. But orcas taking down something
yeah.
that big, like, the fact that they're, like, a natural predator to the moose, that is terrifying.
Just a moose.
Yeah.
Imagine watching a moose casually swim and then an orca just
A
gone.
I
moose
hate
be
that.
6. A moose can be 6'9" tall, and its jump height is unmeasured.
What do you mean by unmeasured?
No one knows the actual jump height of a moose.
Do you guys want to hear something that I'm
Power
scared
of its legs.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going
What?
to share. I'm terrified of squirrels, and there's a backstory for this. So, like I mentioned before, my old house, we used to live in front of like this little like woodsy area, so we would get squirrels like all the time. In the winter, we set up like bird feeders for the birds to come by, but like the squirrels would always try to get them. And we had like a privacy lattice on our deck, but underneath it was a hole between the fence and like the house. So if my dog went under the deck, she could get out. So we put a second one up so it would be able to like stop her from doing that. But the issue was the two lattices, they didn't touch at the top, so they made this kind of like V that like squirrels could get into, but like they couldn't get down. So they would get stuck in there sometimes, and we would have to go outside like with a broom and like kind of like bang on the lattice, like scare them up to the top so they would run away. So I was doing that one time. A squirrel had been off the feeder, like we scared it away. It went in the lattice. So I had to go outside. I had to like shake the broom out of, like knock the lattice and stuff. So it comes up to the top of the lattice. It kind of like looks around for a second. It jumps towards me, and it goes maybe a foot away from my face. And
Oh.
I'm screaming the entire time, like I'm so scared of this thing because it's like flying at my face. And then afterwards, that's when I realized squirrels don't just like come flying at your face; they also come flying down at you from the trees.
Oh.
There can just be like a sneak attack from a squirrel. So I am terrified of squirrels. I'm so scared of them. I hate
And you
them.
don't know if they have rabies or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Branching off of that, I also have like a super irrational animal fear, and it's ladybugs.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds stupid. I think ladybugs are super cute. Like I can somewhat chill with ladybugs, but like um I can I love insects. Like I could deal with praying mantises. I adore spiders. I love spiders so much. Ladybugs I cannot do, and that is because when I was probably 11 or 12 years old, during like the spring or beginning of winter, ladybugs would always come and just chill in our house because it's warm. So there was always like ladybugs in my room. And then the scary thing about ladybugs in your house is that they just like to fly at your face and it's awful. And my biggest fear as a kid was always just that bugs would go into my ears and I hated it. Because I once had a friend when I was like 9 who a bee flew into his ear and stung him in the ear.
Oh.
Um,
Ow.
and one night I was sitting on my bed at like 10 p.m. just like playing stuff on my laptop, and there was a ladybug in my room. And then as I put it away and laid down to go to sleep, one flew directly into my ear,
No.
and then it wouldn't
Oh.
get out. And I had to go to the bathroom and just like shake my head around because it wouldn't get out of my ear.
Oh my
that's
god,
not good.
no.
So now I'm scared of ladybugs.
Speaking of bugs
Yeah.
in
Oh.
ears, I remember when I was like a tiny little baby poopy child with the diaper.
Like you are now.
Yeah. There was like a
Yeah.
fly thing that I don't know what the hell it was. All that I know is that I was on like the back porch of my house. This was still in Canada, so this was a really long ass time ago. I don't know. I just turned around and then I saw two red eyes that just like crashed into my face, and somehow it got to my ear and it started biting me, like really hard as it could or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it was, but it just started biting my ear. I don't know how it got to my ear or whatever, and then well, dead, killed it. And my older brother just started smushing it.
Okay.
Probably like a horse fly or something.
Oh.
Alrighty. I have another. Okay, it's not really a kind of in-person fear. Okay, you know monsters in games and like in books and movies and all that stuff? How, like,
Yes.
everyone's always scared of like the bigger lumbering ones or like the small fat
Mhm.
ones.
Mhm.
I don't like the ones that are big and fast or like lanky. I don't trust
Yeah.
lanky creatures.
Yeah.
I don't think
Me
there's a
neither.
single fictional monster that I'm afraid of because I know that it's fictional.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
if something like is big and lanky, I don't trust it because those things can move fast based on their size, and that's
Yeah.
terrifying. Also, a moose can just
Yeah.
bring it back to the moose jumping thing. I just watched a video of a moose casually jumping a car, or a moose casually jumping a 4-foot high fence.
Jesus.
And by jump, I mean basically just stepping over it.
Yeah.
Moose are huge.
Moose are big. Don't trust them. I don't trust big animals.
Nope.
It's like you can crush my bones by just like lightly like stepping on my back. I'm
Just
good.
strolling along, you
Mhm.
could kill me.
Wait, there was like a story in the news somewhere like about a drunk moose like accidentally killing a woman when she was out on a walk.
What the?
Yeah, I don't remember where it was. I don't know if it was like here in Canada or like somewhere in like America or even in like Europe or wherever. But there was a moose and like it had eaten fruit from a tree that had, like fermented, so it got drunk and it killed a woman
Oh
while
my
she was out on
god.
a walk.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Sometimes I forget that moose aren't native to Canada,
Yeah.
and then they can be in other places.
Mhm.
This is just inviting all of the Canadian stereotype jokes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
the moose drank maple
genuinely
syrup.
forgot.
I mean, I guess another Canadian stereotype. I don't know a single Canadian who isn't scared of geese.
Oh god, I
But
got chased by those
they're
once.
I
awful.
hate them.
Terrible creatures.
I'm not scared of geese.
I've
I know
been
that
chased by
geese
them.
are like horrible and will kill anything and everything. Geese are going to take over the world, but I'm not afraid
I'm
of
not.
them.
I'm not scared of
Yeah.
them. I don't trust them.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely don't trust them
Canadian geese.
because it doesn't matter what you do, they're gonna get mad. You need to stay a mile away from
Yeah,
them
no,
if you want to make
so-
sure that they don't get mad at you.
My mom, she once told me a story about how my parents, they were on a walk one day. I don't think this was here, like where we live. It was somewhere else, but it was still in Canada. So they went out on a walk and like they found like a little path that they wanted to go down, but there were a bunch of geese. So they took the path next to it. The geese still chased them.
Damn.
Oh.
Like they went on the other path to avoid the geese and they still got chased.
Geese are kind of crazy.
I remember a what is it? A WikiHow article on how to fight an ostrich that exists.
What? Man, the Australians would have probably liked that during the Emu War.
But it's an ostrich, not an emu.
They're about the same kind of creature. Emus are
I
like
know someone
smaller
with emus. They're
ostriches.
assholes.
Okay, I'm gonna read through this WikiHow article to end off when we decide to end off. But by the way, just a quick warning, or just a quick thing about emus: they can kick a hole through your chest.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh my god.
big birds
Their
can do
legs
that.
are very strong, and they have talons that can just gore you.
Ooh.
Also, they're dickheads. They run up behind people, peck them on the head, and then run away.
Of course.
Same.
Those trolls.
Also, magpies will dive bomb people, so some people have to wear bike helmets in certain places when going on a walk.
Damn. And they steal the bike helmet because it's shiny.
Do we have any more fears or animal fears that we want to talk about, or should we move on to a different set of fears?
I'm just scared of spiders, that's it.
Yes, if a spider is bigger than a dime, then absolutely I will not. No, go, shoo.
No.
Too big.
Spiders, dogs, geese.
Ever
me,
seen
I
a
base-
clock spider?
I base
Do
my
not even. No, not clock.
Goliath bird eater.
Oh yeah, the Goliath bird eater. What is another one that's like super huge?
Well, yeah, clock spiders are the reason clock spiders are called clock spiders is because they're literally the size of a clock.
Oh,
Like,
oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like they're
yeah.
absolutely massive. Like they can like hide behind clocks.
Those are
That's
too
weird.
big.
Like, they
Yeah,
fit in clocks, they're so big.
and
That's a big boy.
of course, both of them are from Australia.
listen,
know,
as someone who wants to live in Australia, I've had to get get used to spiders.
Australia is. I would like to visit Australia. It's a cool place.
Okay, you know what animal Tamatoa from Moana is based off of?
Mm.
The coconut crab.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Just first off, these things are carnivorous. These things are carnivorous. Here's just a dude next to one. I don't think we can use this
Oh
specific image. These things murder chickens and just eat them.
no, okay, so there's like conspiracy theory about Amelia Earhart and how like she survived in her plane, like it crashed, yeah, but she survived it and she was like living on an island for a while, but then she like got eaten by coconut crabs.
Yeah,
Like that's
Oh.
could have happened. They eat flesh.
yeah. I don't know if it's like confirmed or not, but like it's that thing is so massive. I hate
That's
that.
a crab. That's just a crab.
You know, I also don't like wasps, but that's a pretty I'd say that's a pretty understandable fear because you know they're
Yeah.
wasps.
I'm scared of dogs.
I think before I go over the WikiHow of how to fight an ostrich, I'm going to put one last creature, going back to our deep water fear. This animal is a colossal squid.
Oh, is it that
No,
weird
no,
looking squid thing?
No, don't do it, Cody. No, don't do it.
I have to do it, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, don't do it. No, no.
Is it the one with like dish-sized eyes? Like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, those things. I think they look cool because Kraken.
Oh, that's
They
so
look
scary.
cool, but I don't trust one in water.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
wouldn't want to
gonna-
be in the same water as them because like no.
for me, I never really realized, but like squids and octopi, they're like kind of terrifying.
Terrifying.
To think about it because like they're big. Like you think about it and they're like, oh, they're okay, but like no, they're big.
Octopi
Well,
try to drown divers all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my fear. That's why I'm scared of them. Is just because the idea that they can totally just grab you and never let go and just pull you under.
Yeah, like those things are huge and they like have so many arms. They'll grab you. Oh no, I don't like that one.
There's a spider. That's a spider squid.
Ugh.
Just a quick, it hasn't given me. Oh, these things are about 14 meters long, by the way.
Ugh,
And they casually fight whales.
I hate that. Oh
Fight
my
So
club.
do I. I don't even know if that's like the entire length, including the tentacles. That could be just without the tentacles. Oh, sorry. A colossal squid, yeah, is. We don't know.
Oh yeah, because nobody.
Oh my God.
There's no actual evidence of. Well, there's no actual images of a colossal squid, or like nobody's gotten a colossal squid to research.
No one's gotten a body.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Sperm whale is roughly 15 feet. A giant squid is 15 meters. A giant squid is 18 meters. Colossal squid, question mark, question mark, question mark.
We also don't even know if those are fully grown.
Yeah, we don't know. And now, before we end off, I think I will go through the WikiHow on how to survive an encounter with an ostrich.
Punch in the neck.
Step 1. Method 1. Evading a charging ostrich. 1. Run for nearby cover. Expect ostriches to attain speeds of 43 miles per hour over open ground. If there are no dense vegetation or wind or woods close enough for you to reach before the ostrich reaches at you, sprint for that. So basically, if there's anything nearby, run for it. Prevent the ostrich from attaining optimum speed so it has less chance to outrun you. If there are more sturdy cover than vegetation, such as a car or man-made structure, go for it. A super kick of an ostrich leg can hit you with the impact of 500 psi, enough to kill a human. If you don't think you can make it, do not attempt it. Ostriches are extremely fast and will attack you by kicking you in the back as soon as they catch up to you. Step 2. Hide. Rest assured that while an ostrich does eat meat, they stick to insects, small reptiles, and rodents. Understand that provoked ostrich will chase humans primarily because it feels threatened, not because it wants to eat them. At your first opportunity, duck behind cover that conceals you from its view, rather than risk a prolonged chase. Expect the ostrich to lose interest once it thinks you're gone. Step 3. Elevate yourself. Remember, ostriches are incapable of flight. If there's no place to hide from it on the ground, climb a tree, fence, or other structure. Wait for the ostrich to lose interest and leave before you get back down. An adult ostrich stands typically 7 to 9 feet tall. Although it has no teeth, it may jab at you with its beak, potentially upsetting your balance. Seek higher elevation to keep out of range. Step 4. Dive into a thorn bush.
Oh,
Opt for getting pricked by razors instead than getting disemboweled by an ostrich's sharp talons. Step 5, lay on the ground. Or option 5, lay on the ground. It'll peck at you, but it won't kick you. Use your arms to protect your skull. The ostrich may even stand or sit on you before it tires. An adult ostrich weighs between 190 and 350 pounds. Method 2,
Stop, drop,
fighting the
roll.
ostrich.
Of course.
Oh my god, no.
Step 1, get a long weapon.
Of course,
If
yeah.
you're forced to defend yourself from an ostrich, avoid close quarters combat. Keep as far out of reach as its legs as you can. Use the nearest long object you can use as a weapon, such as a pole, rake, broom, or branch. If you have a gun, use it. Aim for the ostrich's main body to better ensure hitting your target. Although they may be attacking with their legs and or beak, their legs and neck are very thin and easy to miss.
Okay,
Step
so I'm
2.
just gonna bring a whole halberd every time we go to Australia.
Yeah. Step 2. Keep to the ostrich's side. Consider yourself most at risk when the two of you are face to face. Remember, the ostrich is only able to kick its legs directly in front of it. Stay behind or to the side of the bird and keep as much possible distance between you from its most powerful weapon. Step 3. Aim for the neck. This is with a stick. Consider this to be the ostrich's weakest body part. Strike it where it's most vulnerable and least protected to defeat it more quickly. Failing that, aim for its chest. Concentrate your efforts between the two as an opportunity to continue to strike until it quits and runs away. Step 4. Damage its wings. If the ostrich refuses to give up despite your attacks to its neck, aim for its wings. When given the opportunity, know that the ostrich uses its wings not for flight, but to alter its course when running, like a sharp rudder. Damaging its wings may marginally improve your chances of running away in a zigzag fashion from your forced retreat. Step 5. Go for the legs. If you find yourself behind or to the side of an ostrich with an easy shot for one of its legs, take it. Know the ostrich's center of gravity depends entirely on which of those two skinny legs it's standing on. If given the chance, deliver one or both a blow to upset its balance, speed, and striking power. Method 3 is just don't go near an ostrich.
Method 3, just
God.
don't get in a fight, duh.
Don't.
And with that, I believe that's where we'll be ending off for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed this madness. And for now, have a good day, and we'll see you next time we go on air.
Guys, am I late? Did you guys already start?